You're listening to the Fort Erie Podcast, your local source for upcoming events, hot new listings, and bite-sized interviews with business and community leaders. Here's your host, Brent Jones.
Hello and welcome to the Fort Erie Podcast. It is Tuesday, December the 3rd. I'm your host, Brent Jones, and you are listening to episode number 9. And I wanted to ask, to kick things off, did you see the news? Many of you know that I do a monthly gift card giveaway on social media. And my winner for this month was Billy P. from Fort Erie. You may have seen his photo. He won $50 to South Coast Cookhouse in Crystal Beach. I wanted to mention on the show, on the record here, I guess, that this month, the month of December, this is going to be the best giveaway I think that I've done yet. It's actually going to be a 3-pack of gift cards worth a total of $75. You get $25 to Southside's Patio Bar and Grill, $25 to Creative Dining by Angie, and $25 to Subculture. Basically, one winner takes it all. It's free to enter, and the draw will be held the first week of January. So kind of a nice way to start off the new year. If you'd like to enter this month's giveaway, click the link in the show notes below this episode where it says monthly gift card giveaway, or you can jump over just kind of manually and visit buywithbrent.ca/giveaway. That's BUY withbrent.ca/giveaway. Now, let's cover my real estate pick of the week, my hot new listing, just one this week. I want to highlight 127 High Street here in Fort Erie. That's listed by Joshua McKenzie at Keller Williams Complete Niagara Realty. And the reason I really wanted to highlight this home as kind of my pick of the week is really due to the in-law suite. I've worked with a number of buyers over the past month who have specifically been looking for an in-law suite, something they could possibly even rent out as an accessory apartment. And that's exactly what 127 High Street has. It's got its own separate entrance to this in-law suite. The in-law suite has its own bathroom, its own 2 bedrooms, its own kitchen, and it's been totally gutted and renovated. Looks like a brand new home. This is a great potential income property if you were to use that in-law suite as an accessory apartment. In total, the house has over 1,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's a fully detached bungalow on a lot 132 feet deep. There's a metal roof, and I believe it's available for immediate possession. Now, we're going to get on to my interview here with today's guest, and today's guest is going to be Sean Fleming, Adult Services Librarian from Fort Erie Public Library, and boy, does he have a sense of humor. I think you're really going to enjoy my chat with him. But just before we move on to that interview, I want to remind you guys, I mentioned this is episode number 9. Next week, next Tuesday, is the final episode of Season 1 of the Fort Erie Podcast. But I really need you to listen to next week's episode number 10. And here's why. And here's why you should encourage other people to listen to it as well. I'm going to be offering a bonus gift card draw, but this draw is going to be exclusively for listeners of the Fort Erie Podcast. The prize is going to be a $50 gift card to the Village Boutique in Ridgeway, but basically here's how this is going to work. I'm going to be offering you a survey for you to have a chance to give some feedback on what you liked best about Season 1 of the Fort Erie Podcast and what you'd like to see possibly change for Season 2. In other words, how can I make this show the best it can possibly be for residents of Fort Erie? Listen to the show next week, listen to kind of the season finale episode, and you can win a gift card totally separate from my usual monthly gift card giveaway to another awesome local business. Now, let's just pause here for 1 sec and get on to my chat with Sean Fleming. Welcome back, everyone. I am here at Fort Erie Public Library, the Centennial Branch, with none other than Sean Fleming, Adult Services Librarian. Welcome to the show, Sean.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, glad to be talking to you. So I start all of my interviews by asking my guests really the same question, which is, what makes Fort Erie such a great place to live and work?
Oh, well, it's great. It's located really nicely in the Niagara region to a lot of amenities, a lot of cities. It's a vibrant community, much more than I think people realize. I think people are finding it more and more. But
I'd agree with that.
I think that it's it's a town with a history, a town with some potential, and I think that's how we ended up here. So.
I do have to probe you a little bit as a librarian and ask you, on average, how many books do you read per month?
10 or 12.
You read 10 or 12 books a month?
No, probably not. But no. I'm just saying that. If they're kids' books, easily. Easily. I've got lots of kids at home. Some of them mine. Most of them are mine.
Some of them are yours even. Yeah. What are you currently reading?
Oh, The Luminaries by Elizabeth Canton.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And do you have a favorite book?
Well, not one on this voyage. Timothy Finley's one of my more favorite.
Okay.
So don't ask me what it was about, though. It's a long time ago.
Okay.
I cannot give you this knowledge.
Sticks with you, though, eh?
Sticks with me.
That's cool.
Very good.
That's cool. Now, what are some of the specific challenges that a small town library has that, say, maybe the Toronto Public Library does not?
Well, less and less. I would say we have less and less of that divide between a big town and a small town because of electronic products, electronic books, and that have helped us tremendously. We've got something called Link that we're running with a bunch of other libraries in the region.
Okay.
We supply books to each other. We supply books throughout our own system. We use interlibrary loan quite a bit when we need it. I don't know if it's as big a gap as maybe it would have been prior to a world of was internet connected.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Yeah. I mean, so maybe I should rephrase the question like this: what are some of the challenges with having 3 branches, with having Stevensville, Crystal Ridge, and then here? Do you find that there are specific challenges that operating 3 branches has at times?
Well, without getting, I mean, there are challenges of peopling them with our staff.
Like
small staff, and we're spread thin at times. That would be, the only one of the bigger challenges. But
okay. One thing that always surprises me is I love the library. I think Fort Erie Public Library does a fantastic job, fantastic public service. But it surprises me every time I come in here, I learn that you guys do something different that I didn't know you did. Like, I borrowed a ukulele one time. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
What are some of the services the library offers that might really surprise people?
I mean, I think that, I still think that just the regular stuff, the electronic books in particular, and electronic magazines. I'm not so sure that people recognize that we have access to a lot of these things that we've purchased with your tax dollars, and that we can get a hold of, or you can make use of.
What about, like, you guys have video games? You got comic books?
Video games, comic books. Things that different types of collections.
What about classes? I mean, you guys do classes for, like, computer classes and things at the time, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, those. In fact, we're just sitting in a room where we just had a class earlier today.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, let's hit the rapid fire question round here before we go any later. This is a chance for listeners to get to know you, Sean Fleming, a little better. We'll put about 60 seconds on the clock. I'll ask the questions. Just rattle them off, and just first answer that comes to mind. All right, you ready?
I'll make up things.
Yeah, make it up if you have to. Or just say pass, whatever you want.
Yeah, it would be like, do I get it? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Great.
What color is your toothbrush?
Blue, we'll say.
It could be blue, it might not be.
Blue.
If you could be any animal, what would you be and why?
A coyote, because there's lots of them here and I make lots of new friends quickly.
That's a great answer. What is one of the things you would put on, what's one thing on your bucket list?
Go to Scandinavia. I've never been to Scandinavia.
Scandinavia, that's great. Who do you admire most in Fort Erie?
I'll say my wife, because she might listen to this.
If a movie was made of your life, what genre do you think it would be, and who would play you?
It would be like one of those PBS, like one of those like 20 episode series things, Hugh Laurie would play me.
Oh, that's a good choice. Okay, you could be any flavor of ice cream. What would you be?
Pistachio.
Perfect. You survived. You survived the rapid fire question round. Well, let's get back to the library, because I mean that's I think listeners probably care more than about the color of your toothbrush. How does one get a library card if they don't already have one, and what does a library card get them?
The library card gets them access to so much. It's tip of the iceberg stuff. Just information and books and our company that, when you come in here and you can hang out with us and use our computers and chat with us and take things out. And you get one with any piece of ID, photo ID, preferably a license or something that gives your Fort Erie address, etc.
Okay.
That's what we need.
And for kids that are under 16?
Usually a parent saying okay and signing them up. I don't know what exactly they need ID-wise.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll put a link for those of you listening. Check the show notes as always, like right below this episode. I'll have links to what the Fort Erie Public Library is up to and how to find them on social media. But the last question I'll leave you with here, Sean, is how can residents of Fort Erie, aside from paying late fees, how can they support the library? What could residents do to either get more involved or help support what you guys are doing here?
Well, we do all sorts of things. Friends of the Library. There's a board which is that's put together every few years. You could get involved in that. You could get involved in Friends of the Library, which is again a standing thing that you could always drop by and join. You could join book clubs. You could you could write a letter to the mayor and say how much you love us. You could just come in and visit. You could do all sorts of things. I don't know. There's a myriad of things. Follow us on social media and see what we're up to. And
that's great.
That's often a good way to see what we're doing and interact with us that way.
Great. Yeah. Well, that's everything I've got, Sean. Thank you so much for sitting down and spending some time with me today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, man.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's finish up this episode with some community events. Here's what's coming up in the next week or so. The Sacred Fire for Aboriginal AIDS Awareness is happening in partnership with Positive Living Niagara on December 4th, sunrise to sunset at the Fort Erie Native Friendship Center. We've got coming up on, Friday, December the 6th, the One Stop Christmas Shop. I believe this is the 4th annual One Stop Christmas Shop at John Brandt Public School. You can come and shop with direct sales vendors, crafters, bakers, and so much more, starting at 5 p.m. Also, the same day, December 6th, many of you are looking forward to this, the historic Downtown Ridgeway Spirit of Christmas Festival. That's a lot of words. Friday night and I believe Saturday through the day as well. You can celebrate the season's sights and sounds with tree decorating and choirs and carriage rides and storytelling and a winter wonderland display and photos with Santa and all kinds of great stuff going on downtown Ridgeway this Friday evening and Saturday. Also Saturday morning, you can stop by the Royal Canadian Legion in Ridgeway and participate in a pancake breakfast and a visit with Santa starting at 8 a.m., only $5 per person. Local band Best Behavior, many of you know, will be performing at Trailsides in Ridgeway on Saturday night, starting at 10 p.m., I do believe. That's Monday, December the 9th, there will be a holiday flash mob with Down the Rabbit Hole Theater Company, hosted by the Fort Erie Public Library Centennial Branch, 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. I believe you need tickets, although I do believe those tickets are free, and perform a Christmas flash mob for children's ages 7 to 14. And lastly, next Tuesday, December the 10th, Tommy O will be performing at the Fort Erie Lions Seniors Center from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. You can buy tickets in advance. There'll be some goodies served, as I understand, and the cost is $12 per ticket, or you can get 2 tickets for $20. So that just about concludes community events for this week, I do believe. So if you have a community event coming up, head on over to theforteriepodcast.com and click the contact button at the top of the page to learn more about any of the events I've discussed today, or even my real estate pick of the week. Again, head on over to theforteriepodcast.com and access the show notes below this episode. Share this episode with a friend on social media or otherwise. Join me next week for the finale episode, where I will be speaking with Phil Smith, a realtor extraordinaire, owner of South Coast Cookhouse in Crystal Beach. Heck, just all-round Crystal Beach celebrity Phil Smith is, really, but we're going to be talking principally about his involvement with the Crystal Beach business improvement area. So long, everybody. I look forward to speaking with you then.
You've been listening to the Fort Erie Podcast with your host, Brent Jones, a sales representative with RE/MAX Niagara Realty Limited Brokerage. Follow @BuyWithBrent on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Subscribe to the Fort Erie podcast on popular platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and catch a new bite-sized episode every week. Until next time.